All right, all right, all right. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, everything is good and you guys can hear me all right. Still getting used to doing this, still getting used to all the setup. Let me know in the chat if everything is good and you can hear me. Are we all good? Can you guys hear me all right? All right. All right. So let's get started with today's show. And I got to tell you, today is going to be a little bit bittersweet for me. Not because of the contents of the show, but I got rid of, I sold a car that I've owned for almost 13 years. It would have been 13 years in August. I had a Subaru WRX. Nice little car, very fast, very fun to drive. And, it was a shame to get rid of it. But, like I said, it's 12 going on 13 years old. Had some issues. I actually took it in to get some work done on it to find out that there was a crack in the muffler pipe. The tires were getting some dry rot, so I was going to need new tires. It was going to need new brakes. Was going to need a new belt. A couple of other different things on it. Would have been a couple $1,000s worth of work. And seeing that there was over 140,000 miles on it, I owned the car, like I said, for 12 years. It was time to let it go. So I'm a little disappointed in that. Hang on, let me bring this up for a minute here. Come on. There she is. There was my baby. And now she's gone. Like I said, it was time. Luckily, my daughter's got a car that she doesn't drive that often, so she and I are actually going to share a car for a while. I'm not looking to get anything new right now, but I am sorry to see her go. I am absolutely going to miss this car because it was a hell of a lot of fun to drive. But there we go. The end of an era. And it definitely will be missed. So I'm a little bit sad today. I'm hoping you guys can perk me up and cheer me up tonight. But we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. 2 weeks ago when I did my show, I focused on the iconic arcade and the Street Fighter machine that they have coming out later this year. Well, today I wanted to focus on another machine that I know a lot of people are very excited about. And, the GRS Build-A-Cade FU edition. So we're going to spend some time. We're going to talk about that. Glen has put out some recent information on everything he knows, for what is going on with that. So we're going to cover some of that and some different things. But, I know a lot of people have been doing like comparison videos and, which one should you buy and that kind of stuff. And that's fine. Those have been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying watching a lot of those. I didn't want to do another one of those. Like I said, my last show was very focused on the iconics, so I wanted to give more time. I wanted to basically try to give equal time to the Build-A-Cade tonight and talk about that and, not really do any kind of comparison, just do it on its own and, just see what people think of it. Before we do that, let me take a couple of minutes here. Let me say hi to some people in the chat, see who we got going on here. I see Thumper Squid is here. Hello, Thumper Squid. We got Jason in the house. Of course, Glen's Retro Show is here. He is going to keep me on track and make sure I don't say anything wrong about his Build-A-Cade FU for sure. John J is here. We got Goofyfoot in the house, of course. Good to see you as always, Goofyfoot. We got the Cornercade here. Cornercade is going to be doing a show, I think, later on tonight as well, so you guys can check him out for sure. Got my moderator, best moderator in the business, Jason Little Alien is here. So, and I think that is it for now. I will try to say hi to everyone else as they come in. But before we get to the main topic, I do want to cover just a little bit of other news for some things going on with AtGames. So let me get this set up and we could talk about this. Hang on one second. Because there is a little bit of news with them. And, of course, the first thing is this. They've got the first of their new Zakaria Deluxe pinball tables coming out. Single packs, I guess they're calling them. Now that, you know, what they've decided to do, and a lot of you know now, is instead of selling these in packs of 5 or 6 and charging $25 to $35 for them, they're going to be selling these as one game, single pack, and charging $5 for the HD versions and $7 for the 4K versions. So the first of these actually drops tomorrow, the 30th, right around, I guess, 9 Pacific time is usually when these go live. I will tell you that AtGames did send this to me earlier today, so I did get a chance to check it out a little bit, and it's interesting. I'm going to hold off on some of my thoughts on it until I do more of a review video for you guys on it. It's a Magic Pixel Deluxe table. I'll just say that much for now. But like I said, I got to play around with it a little bit more. Maybe over the weekend, I'll put together a video for it and show you guys. So if any of you are on the fence on it, you can certainly wait until you see some of the review videos and get a chance to decide for yourself if it's one of the ones that you want to pick up. Now, interestingly enough, I actually did reach out to AtGames about something here, because one of the things you can see here is that this does say that it's for the Legends Pinball HD and Legends Pinball Micro HD only. Of course, like I said, there is, the 4K version of it as well for $7 that you can pick up. But for the HD one, they're only making these available for right now for their pinball machines, whether it's the HD or the Micro HD. You cannot get this for the Core Plus, Core Max. You cannot get this on any of the ALUs. And according to them, they don't have any plans to release these new tables on any of those machines, for the foreseeable future. How long that's going to be, if it's going to be forever, if they're going to do it at some point in the future, I don't know. But for right now, they're focused on bringing these just to the pinball machines themselves and not any of the others. So I know that is a big bummer for some of the people who have the ALUs. You've got those pinball buttons on the side of it. I've got the Core Max with the Gamer Pro control panel. So, it'd be nice to be able to play it on that as well as on my machine, but unfortunately that doesn't seem like it's going to be something that's happening. So, take that for what it is. But like I said, I did reach out to them. They did say that, yeah, that's how it is, and they really don't have any plans to release it for any of those other machines at this time. So that is that. Now, the other thing that I did want to bring up real quick with AtGames is this right here. A lot of people have been noticing that they've got a new little menu spot on their website for the Legends 4K Arcade coming soon. Of course, this doesn't lead anywhere. This doesn't do anything. It's just a placeholder right now, but maybe that means that they're getting close to actually releasing this. Maybe we'll find out more info soon. With all the talk about Iconic Arcade and, again, the Build-A-Cade and all these things that are going up for sale in the first half of this year to be coming out in that June, July time frame. Wouldn't it be interesting if AtGames is gearing up to do kind of the same thing and get this ready for, second quarter, first half of the year, and bring this out right around the same time as some of these other machines are coming out? I think it'd be interesting, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Michael P. was showing this hard. What, the Space Shuttle Deluxe? Yeah, you know what? I actually saw that too. So here's a story about that, Thumper Squid, and for everybody else. I remember actually I was homesick from school that day, and I thought it would be cool as a kid to watch a space shuttle launch. So I'm sitting there at home sick, and I remember seeing the space shuttle going up, and I didn't get it at first. Because I was a kid, I didn't get that it had actually blown up. I saw the smoke and whatever. I thought maybe some of the secondary rockets had post off it. So I'm there, yay! This is so cool. And then the news started coming in, and I was like, uh-oh. So that was a weird. That's one of those weird days that, if you were there, if you remember seeing it, you kind of look back on and say, yeah, I remember when that happened. AtGames makes no sense. Why ship all those recency Sam's Club units with pinball buttons if they go out of their way to give virtual? Yeah, I don't know. I don't. They didn't tell me why they chose to do this. Just that at this particular time, it wasn't something that they had planned. Hopefully, Glen knows how to treat I can guarantee you, Glen knows how to treat his customers. See? Yeah, it was a weird, weird topic to bring. I know we were talking about Space Shuttle Deluxe pinball, so I guess it kind of evolved into talking about the space shuttle blowing up. But yeah, that was a weird time for sure. Hey, Rich Waldello in the house. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. All right, so let me take a little sip here. My mouth already. And let's get into this. Now, before I start talking about the Build-A-Cade, I got a little something special for you guys. I got a little video that I found of Glen. And this is him just really reaching out to the community and letting them know all about what's coming up. Check this out.
Still waiting on that heifer, Julio. You're cool. And you, I'm out.
Yeah, all right. I was having a little fun. So that's a scene from the movie Half Baked, and I got Glen's face superimposed on there. I thought that would be a lot of fun. I edited the sound a little bit, obviously, on it, but I just thought that would be something a little funny. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Oh. But seriously, so let's get into this and let's talk about the Build-A-Cade. I know that other people have kind of covered some of this stuff, but I want to cover it myself, give my take on it, and of course, like I said, I'm glad that Glen is here to correct me if I happen to say anything wrong on this. So for those of you who do not know, there is a dedicated fan page, a dedicated Facebook fan page to the GRS Build-A-Cade FU. There's also one for his smaller Build-A-Cade as well, so you can sign up for both of those. One of them, whichever one you want or whatever. But what I'm going to share here is something that Glen posted to the GRS Build-A-Cade FU fan page a couple of days ago. I do have a link to it in the description of the video. Jason, maybe if you can find it, you can put a link to it as well so people can sign up and join that fan page. One among many that Glen has on Facebook. All right, so let's dive in and Glen hands out FUs like Oprah gives out cars. Not for off after you've had a few. Yeah, probably very true. All right, so let's talk about this. So the GRS Build-A-Cade FU Edition Home True Arcade Unit. So we'll get the the elephant in the room out of the way right away. He starts right off. Starting price under $1,000 for the 19-inch electronic rotation version. So what we know so far in terms of the pricing is that if you want the 19-inch with the electronic rotation, it should be under $1,000. Now, if you want the one with the 26-inch screen that doesn't auto-rotate, that's going to wind up being somewhat over $1,000 because of the price difference of the screens. That is all we know at this point. Is that $1,000 line. 19-inch under, 26-inch over. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking Glen, give us more, give us more. Let us know for sure. What's this price actually going to be? This under 1,000, over 1,000 thing isn't helping us. The issue here is that Glen has been working with his team getting the build, getting the look of the cabinet just right, tweaking it. He's actually waiting on the final put together of the machine, after the last batch of tweaks and whatever, making sure that all the wood is the way it's supposed to be, that everything fits together nice and neatly the way it's supposed to be, that the design actually works and looks good. For what he's designed it to look like. And until that's done and they get the full, final cost of what it is to put this thing together, that's when he can actually decide what the actual price is going to be. That's when he can determine how far under 1,000 or how much over 1,000, depending, it's going to wind up being. Now, please keep in mind, he's working with a company in China. It's Chinese New Year's right now. Nothing is going to get decided until sometime into next week because nobody over there is working. It's like a week-long thing, and they all take it off. As a matter of fact, it's interesting because I found out my daughter and my granddaughter who live in South Korea, because a lot of the Asian companies Asian countries kind of celebrate and take advantage of Chinese New Year as well, because she had a couple of days off of work. She works for a school. She's an English teacher over in South Korea. And she got a couple of days off for Chinese New Year as well. So I found that kind of interesting that the other Asian countries also do kind of take advantage of this. So just keep that in mind. Everything's kind of on hold right now with a lot of this because of the celebration that's going on over there right now. Now let's get into some of the other stuff about the cabinet itself. A lot of you guys have seen this already, but just to go over again, we're looking at almost oh, come on. I had those notifications turned off. Anyway, so we're looking at almost a full size, I guess pretty much a full size cab here at 68.9 inches tall. So this is going to be a big boy for sure. Again, weighing almost 200 pounds, around 200 pounds. So, I guess that's pretty good considering the original thought and build on this was going to be over 300. So to get it down to 200 is not too bad, I guess. 15 millimeter MDF wood in visible locations, 12 millimeter wood on internal components, MDF medium density fiberboard construction, true and replaceable arcade T-molding. So that's always good. If you don't like the coloring on the T-molding that it comes with, you can always source your own and change it if you want. Real and fully lit functioning coin door with removable coin bucket. Now, I know a lot of people have talked about this as well. Some people really like this idea that it's got a fully functioning coin door, and some people kind of think that maybe it'd be nice if there could be an option to take this part out so that maybe it would cost a little bit less. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. I can see that for sure. The real coin door, I'll be honest, the real coin door doesn't really do much of anything for me. A lit faux coin door is just fine, in my opinion. So, you know, if this had to go to cut costs, I don't think too many people would complain too much. But the nice thing about this is, you know, because of the way this thing is going to be built and whatever, if you did want to put this, if you wanted to put this together, get the games you want on it, make it look the way you want, and put this somewhere where you could actually collect coins and charge for it, I guess you could. So it's going to have that functionality. Let me see what people are saying in the chat here real quick. The FU will really, in 19 and 20 inches, just be unmatched in price, features, and build quality, far beyond anyone. No paywall, you get it all. Yeah, I know people have been making that joke a lot too about USB ports and other things being locked behind a paywall because, let's face it, we know that's something that AtGames has done recently that a lot of people are complaining about, rightfully so. So yeah, once you buy this thing, it's yours to do with as you will. None of that stuff is going to be locked behind any kind of a paywall at all. Of course, along with the coin door, you got real locks on access panels and the coin door. Large internal power strip for current and future enhancement devices. So that's nice too. Is that it's actually going to come with a power strip inside it. So if you wanted to put other things in here, you'd have a way to plug them in and power them on. I'm assuming that means that power strip is powered by the device itself. Or I guess how I should say it is when you turn the machine on, that power strip is also turned on, so it, you know, one power button to handle everything kind of a thing without having to turn on multiple things. So hopefully, you know, that's a good thing as well. 3 large access panels. Coin panel can be set to open left or right-handed. Built-in hot swap control deck storage area. Now I like the fact that the control decks are going to be hot swappable, meaning you won't have to turn the machine off and on. So if you're playing a game, you know, if you've got it set up for the main one that it comes with, and which you know has a good layout for, like, say, fighting games and things like that, and you want to swap it out and play like a flight game with a flight yoke on it, take the control panel out, unplug it, put the new one in, plug it in without having to turn the machine off, and it should just be recognized and ready to go. So I think that is a really cool thing to have as well, to not have to turn the machine off to swap decks if you want to swap to different types of games. I think is really cool. Ability to add your own PC or gaming device. Actually, you know what? I have a good question, Glenn. Hopefully this is something you can answer in the chat. Now, I know on the switcher for the AtGames, because it was designed for the AtGames, for the ability to switch back and forth between the AtGames PCB and the Viper PCB, you had that button on there to switch back and forth. Is there going to be a mechanism on here or on the control panel that it comes with to maybe be able to switch back and forth between the Viper Venom and a PC or a Pi or, you know, something else that you want to put in there? Or do you have to kind of choose which device you want it to run off of and hook them up separately, kind of a thing? I know, again, that the control panel is supposed to have a button on it for the rotation of the screen. So if it doesn't do it automatically in the game, you can hit it and it will, it will rotate it by button. But is there going to be any kind of button on there that will let you swap between different gaming devices, whether it's a PC versus the Viper? It's something I've been considering, and it wasn't part of the original design. It's going to come down ultimately to the price points. That's fair. That is definitely fair. James Hates Everything is here. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Definitely appreciate it. And hello to Retrofet. I have some of Glen products, so I am expecting the best. Of course, absolutely. So, of course, this is also going to come with a real LED backlit marquee, power on and off physical switch, which hopefully won't be up underneath the marquee and by the speakers. Yes, that was a little bit of a dig. Large rubber feet, wheel casters for moving around. Yeah, to 200 pounds. That would be nice to have something to help move it around. And of course, like I said, it's going to come with. He's calling it the AtGames Ultimate Control Panel. It's basically the same layout as what the AtGames control panel is, but built specifically for the GRS Build-A-Cade FU. I believe with the dimensions of this thing, it might be a little bit wider than the AtGames, so it's not going to be the exact same control deck that's in the AtGames, but the layout and everything is going to be the same as that, with the joysticks, the 6 buttons, the trackball in the middle, the spinners on top, the volcano buttons, all that stuff. So yeah, you've got your 8-way joystick with the 4 to 8-way gate switcher. You got your rotary spinners. You got your LED trackball. 2 external USB ports, 4 internal ones. You got the volcano buttons. And of course, the two switch buttons, like I said, one is for the 4 to 8-way gate switcher, and one is going to be for the screen rotation. So you can rotate it manually with the push of a button, or in the software, it should be able to do it too, which I think is a really cool thing. I'm going to get to that. I want to talk a little bit more about AtGames as we get into this, because I'm a big fan. I've definitely become a big fan of the AtGames system. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So it's going to come with a 19-inch BOE 5/4 ratio, fully motor powered by button, press, or AtGames OS control, horizontal, vertical rotation display, play each game in the right monitor orientation, which I think is going to be really cool. I'm going to tell you, if I do wind up getting one of these, and again, it's not a matter of do I go for this or do I go for the Iconic. It's really just a matter of funding, how much this is going to cost, what I can put together, and things like that. But if I'm being honest, I've been interested in this Build-A-Cade since Glen first mentioned it last year sometime, and finding out more about it and getting into this more so than any other machine that is actually coming out this year. So this is certainly the one that I'm leaning towards. And if I do, I'm probably going to get the one with the 19-inch rotating monitor. I think the 26-inch is going to be cool. I'm glad that he's offering that as an option. But look, most of the games that I want to play are going to be those 80s and early 90s games anyway, and they were all 19, for the most part, 19-inch CRTs anyway. And I really like that idea. I really want to see this monitor thing in person, see how it works with the games. I think it's going to be so freaking cool. I really cannot wait to check that out. Of course, we know it's going to come with the Viper Venom, which is the Rock 3588 chip. Yes, more powerful than a Raspberry Pi. 50-watt sound, 25 watts per channel left and right. Actually, that's a good question too, Glenn. So, is there going to be a separate amp in there for the sound hooked up to the Viper, or is sound just running right off the Viper itself? I'd be curious to know that. So maybe that's something you can put in the chat as well. The FU control deck does look a little more roomy for players, for player one than the arcade version. I like the control panel on the arcade. I have no problem with it. I think it works pretty well. Glenn, will you have updates down the road like surprise games or anything like that? Still working with the possibility of licenses, but nothing I can talk about now because nothing's settled. So that's good to know too. I mean, we know it's going to come with Adventures of Robbie Roto. We already know Glen's got the license for that. But what else it might come with, or what else might be available for it without you guys having to source your own games, I guess we'll have to wind up seeing. Oh, Paul, yeah, I know. I know this is not your thing. That's okay, man. Everybody's got their own opinions, but I'm glad you stopped by just to say hi. So I will catch you on the next one, brother. It's all right. It's all good. All right, so it is going to have an independent amp. So that's good, too. That's good, too. So let's see. Where did I leave off? So talking about the Arcade OS. Lots of direct built-in support for the GRS technology and controllers and third-party hardware enhancements. Games included with the ability to easily add thousands and thousands more. We said we know Robbie Roto for now. We'll have to see if any others are available for it directly. Built-in, no extra fee, network gameplay with any Arcade OS or RetroArch system. So that's a cool thing too, is the fact that, you can actually play games with people, not just who have another Build-A-Cade, the full-size Build-A-Cade, but technically you can play games online with people who have the smaller Build-A-Cade. If you've got the same two games on there, you can do that. Somebody who's got the Viper or the Viper Venom in their own project, or any machine that's got a rock chip running arcade on it, or even RetroArch. So that's interesting. I would love to see if I can actually hook it up for some network play with maybe one of my Anbernic. Um, 4K movie playback, that's, I think, more about the Viper Venom itself than it is the Build-A-Cade, because the Build-A-Cade's not going to have a 4K monitor in it. So 4K movie playback isn't going to really do anything for you, and you could probably put your own 4K monitor in it at some point if you wanted. But Stream Steam using built-in Moonlight server, that's something I need to test out too. That's something I wanted to work on. Hopefully some of you have seen some of the beep. What beep? Was there a beep? Did something beep? If it maybe I hit something by mistake. I don't know. I'm sorry if I blew up people's ears. I'm sorry. I have no idea what that would have been. I didn't hear anything on my end. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, I've done a couple of videos with the Viper on the iArcade, some mods, a look at how to do things like map buttons and things like that. Wow, seriously? Wow. I have no idea where that would have come from. I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to watch this again after the fact. I have no idea where that would have come from. Sorry, guys. Like I said, if it was loud and it blew your guys' ears for a couple of seconds there, I apologize. I don't know where the hell that came from. So getting back, okay, I keep losing my train of thought here. It's not the Purge. It's not the Purge. Oh, man. All right. So I want to work on some more videos on the arcade system and what it's capable of. One of the things I definitely want to check out is the Moonlight server and how you can stream your Steam games to it. I want to see if I can get that working, if I can show you guys how to do that on the iArcade and play some Steam games on there. I think that'll be really cool, and I think people will really like that. Hopefully some of the stuff that I have been doing, it's not still guys, it's not still happening, is it? Please tell me it's not still happening. Please tell me it's not still happening. But yeah, keep an eye on my channel. I'm going to do some more videos on what the Arcade OS and RetroArch and all that stuff is capable of, so that whether you've got this on your iArcade or whether you're going to be getting the Build-A-Cade full-sized unit with Arcade OS on it, hopefully these are things that you can look back to and you can take advantage of and learn how to do some different stuff with it, because it's not always completely intuitive. It's pretty easy. I do think the Arcade OS is pretty easy to get around, especially the fact that it uses Emulation Station as the launcher, as the front end to it. So, you know, for just moving around menus, launching games, things like that, it's pretty easy to figure out. But some of the nuances, like I said, the button mapping, I'm going to do another video on, like I said, trying to stream Steam games to it. I'm going to do a video on how to change the theme on it. If you don't like the way that the menus look, you can change that and stuff. So there is a lot that you can do with the Arcade OS. But I also want you guys to keep something else in mind. There's other OSs out there that are capable of running on a rock chip. Before Glen partnered up with the guys at Arcade, and I have to say, I'm really excited by the fact that he is fully partnered up with them, that they are taking this very seriously, and they're doing a lot to build his products into the OS for direct support. I think that's really cool that they're doing that. But if you don't like the Arcade OS for whatever reason, front end for RetroArch should work on this, whether it's Batocera or whether it's other versions of Emulation Station. You don't have to just go with the Arcade OS if you're more familiar with something else and you want to change it up. Now, again, the Arcade... What? What? All right, hang on, guys. Hang on. Because I'm not hearing anything. I don't know where the hell that would be coming from. Hang on. I'm muting myself for a second. Hang on. Test, 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 test. All right, I can hear myself there. All right, that is really, really weird, guys. I honestly have no idea what is going on. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again and here. Not that that's going to tell me where the hell it's coming from, but that is weird. I am so sorry, guys. I have absolutely no idea what could possibly be doing that. I don't have anything. Do I have anything running? I do not even have anything up and running that would be causing that. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. You know what? I'm going to get rid of... I had another window up with the show on it just so I could kind of keep an eye on it. But I guess I don't really need that. All right, I guess we'll see how it goes. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, I know we had like a crazy wind advisory tonight where I live, but nothing that should be like going off and beeping at me or at you guys, because I couldn't hear any of it on my end. I got headphones plugged in and I'm monitoring my mic, but I don't know that that's going to tell me anything either. So, but we'll see. Let me switch. Yeah, let me switch that up to. Nope. No, let's stay with that. That's fine. All right. Oh my goodness. And of course, I keep losing track of things here. So, yeah. So I was talking. So I don't know what you guys heard over the beeps. I was talking about the Arcade OS, being that's on RetroArch. I like the Arcade OS. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I've been doing some videos on it, on the things that you can do with that, with RetroArch, things like that. I plan on doing a few more of those, but like I said, if you're not a fan of the Arcade OS, you could always run Batacera or run something else on this as well, you know, if that's something that you wanted to do. Another thing, that was the other thing that I wanted to touch on real quick, was the 4K movie playback feature. Now, like I said, it's not going to do you much good in the Build-A-Cade unit because it's not a 4K screen. But Glen is going to be selling the Viper. He's going to be selling the Viper Venom separately. And look, I know a lot of people use Raspberry Pis and things as for other things than gaming. I know we tend to focus on gaming, obviously, here in this community, but you know, you can use a Raspberry Pi as a media server. You can use it as a NAS server or VPN or all kinds of different stuff. There's no reason to think you can't do the same thing with any of the Viper SBCs. So if you wanted to get a Viper or a Viper Venom and use it as a media server for movie playback, it's going to be more than capable of doing that. So that's something that you guys could keep in mind in the future, above and beyond the Build-A-Cade as well. So yeah, network play with anybody, whether it's a Viper or Viper Venom, any Arcade OS system or console, any RetroArch system. No added cost to play online or to unlock features. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So it's going to be, again, that's another thing that I need to check out, is how to do that. I haven't tried any of the online features yet for it, so that's something that I want to check out as well and see how that works with the Viper in the Arcade now. And again, that stuff will just carry through for the Viper Venom. So Glen does plan on having other options and other things coming out for this over time, including some decks that are going to be built right with his flight yoke, with his flight stick on it, with the Ikari Warriors Super Joystick, 2-player deck. That's going to be pretty cool. The Cubert rotating joystick deck, a 3-inch large trackball deck, driving wheel deck with And I believe he said at one point that he's going to have pedals to go with that as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. The Sinden Target Pro light guns should work with it. And of course, you've got guys like 99 Lives, DIY Retro, Arcade, all going to be doing their own stuff for this as well. Hopefully, Buy Stuff gets in on the deal too. I'd love to see Buy Stuff make some things for the Build-A-Cade. So maybe that's something, Glenn, if you haven't talked to the Buy Stuff store yet, maybe that's something you should consider looking into. Of course, he's also going to have that hood to turn it into his Glentendo unit, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if that's something that I want to do. I love the idea. I love the idea of turning it into like a Donkey Kong or a Popeye or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know if that's something that I definitely want to do. The nice thing is I'm pretty sure a lot of this stuff is going to be things that you can always get after the fact. So for people who are worried about price when you add on all these other things, buy it over time. You know, get the machine, get the Build-A-Cade, and then, you know, if you want extra control panels, get those later. If you want the hood to change it into your Glentendo unit, you could always get that after the fact. You know, things like that. The marquees, the LED or the LCD marquee, don't necessarily need to get that right away as well. But of course, all these things are going to be available. Artwork from Joe Szabo's, Escape Pod, Arcade Graphics. So, you know, you've got lots of options on how you want this thing to look. And then, of course, the last little bit of info that we got a couple of days ago is that he's looking at a shipping cost of about $200 per standard unit. Now, I know Glenn was looking at some different ways of boxing this up, whether this comes in a couple of boxes or up to 5 different flat pack boxes. We'll have to wait and see. But having this thing be at about $200, I don't think is necessarily a bad cost for shipping. I mean, I know, you know, you get the machines from AtGames, and they're going to run you $100. The pinball machine from AtGames is going to run you $100. So $200 for this, for a bigger machine that's a little heavier and whatever. I think that's probably about the best you can expect for him to be able to do for something like this. I mean, shipping is ridiculously expensive. Pre-order is expected to open at the end of February with a projected delivery of June or July. All right, get that off the screen. Hopefully you guys are still with me. Hopefully no more beeping going on. Oh my God. I have no idea what that could have been. I'll have to figure that out before the next one. Crazy stuff. But there we go. That is everything we know so far on the Build-A-Cade. Like I said, we will probably get more information in another week or so once the whole Chinese New Year thing is done, once they can get everything built and put together for Glen's final approval. I myself am excited to find out more information, find out what the actual final price is going to be so I can make a decision on what I want to do with this thing for sure. Now, I am in a lucky situation, I guess. The fact that Glen and I actually don't live that far from each other. We're about half an hour away. I've told him numerous times that I'm going to be camping outside his house until he gets the damn thing. But I think one thing I would really love to do is do a little cross-promotion, little crossover event, if you will, with Glen. I got to figure out how I can get people on my show. I know there's ways to do it in OBS because I'm doing everything here in OBS. I'm not using Restream or StreamYards or any of those kind of things. I know there's ways to do this. I've looked at it before, but there's some setup and things that I got to do ahead of time. So once Glen gets the prototype or at least puts in the final approval for it, if he doesn't get it, if he doesn't physically get it himself, I'd definitely love to invite him to come on the show to talk about it a little bit more, to give us the final info and the final updates. And then maybe I can turn around and be on his show as well. Maybe even go up to his house. Maybe we'll broadcast together once he gets the actual prototype, bring you guys all that information all at once. So, Glenn, hopefully you're open to that. And that's something that we can do. How are we looking here? That's weird. Why am I not getting... Oh, I know. Hang on. I lost my chat for a second there. Yeah, me too. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. I'm definitely hoping to get a chance, like I said, to see it in person. We'll see. Like I said, Glenn, if you're open to doing something together, definitely let me know, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. Hey, Cammy's here. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Right now, I currently have the Viper, which is in the RK3566, used in the standard Build-A-Cade, but the Viper Venom is running the 3588. It's more powerful. Yes, you could definitely do more with it. All right, guys. So, like I said, that's about it. Sorry, I'm a little put off by all that, whatever that beeping was that you guys kept complaining about. So I'm sorry. It definitely threw me off today. So I apologize. Hopefully that's something that I can figure out so that it doesn't happen next time. But I apologize. It definitely threw me off on the things I wanted to talk about here. But hopefully you guys got the gist. I know a lot of you have seen a lot of this information before. For me, like I said, this is definitely something that I'm excited for, that I am looking forward to getting a chance to see, getting a chance to check out and figure out what I want to do with it for sure. But, you know what, before we wrap up, let me hear a little bit more from you guys. So who's excited? Who's excited for the Build-A-Cade? Who is looking forward to getting their hands on one? I know for a lot of you, it's like we have to wait and see what the final price is. I get that. But assuming it's a price that you can handle, how many of you are excited to get your hands on one of these and check it out? Yes, Glenn. That was a done one for sure. Shane the 40, glad to see you here. Good, you're in. Jason's excited for it. Good to know. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really cool thing when it finally comes out. The other Jason definitely wants to buy one. He's excited. Goofyfoot's in. Ritual Dello's in. So, Glenn, it sounds like you've got a lot of people who are really excited about this thing. Elio wants to get one. So, yeah, we just got to see what's going on. Guys, we just got to hang in a little bit longer. We just got to get through another couple of weeks here, and then hopefully, as February comes along, there will be more goodies and more info to find out about. Very excited about it and the potential. Well, hopefully it's something that you can get, Cammy, because I know he's looking at some ways to get this out internationally. So hopefully that's something that works out too. James Hates Everything is definitely interested. The big interesting will be is a 19-inch going to be the big winner or the twin? That is actually an interesting thing to think about, because it seems to me like a lot of people are really excited about that 26-inch screen. even though it isn't going to have that auto rotate feature to it. I think I'm in the minority of really excited for the 19-inch screen that has that rotation feature. It feels like so many people are more interested in the 26. See, yeah, Rich Waldello is all about the 26. He wants the 26-inch. Yeah, I definitely want that 19-inch screen. Like I said, I'm okay with it because to me it feels more, arcade accurate. And I know, again, with this machine is not necessarily something that you look to for arcade accuracy, being that it's a multicade. And, there's not going to be any artwork on it. You got to kind of source your own on it. You got to kind of make it whatever you want it to be, kind of a thing. But for Nintendo fans, the 19-inch is going to rock. Yeah. All right, so there's definitely some... Okay, good. So there's definitely some people who are interested in the 19-inch screen, too. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how many people buy the 19-inch one versus how many people buy the 26-inch. Couldn't care less about rotation. I never saw a real arcade do that. 26-inch, you have... Okay. If you're going to do the Donkey Kong style... Yep. Wow, so at least in this audience today, more people seem to be interested in the 19-inch than the 26-inch, which surprises me. I think on a lot of other shows and streams I've seen, it felt like more people were interested in the 26-inch. So, well, we'll have to see how it goes. But, guys, I think I am going to... No, that's what I told my wife. Not the other way around. Oh, boy. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. I know Arcades Anonymous is going to be starting their show pretty soon. If I've got this set up correctly, and who knows after the way this freaking show has gone today, when the show is done, it should redirect you guys right over to Arcades Anonymous. So if you want to stay here and head on over to their show, you can. If you want to check out Cornercade later tonight, he is also doing a show, I think, at 9:30 tonight. So pick your poison. But I do have it set to go right over to the guys at Arcades Anonymous as soon as I end the show. So thanks, guys, for stopping by. Thanks for putting up with whatever the hell happened tonight. And hopefully I'll have that figured out for the next time. And, we can do some different things next time. All right? But, guys, thanks again for stopping by. And I'll see you.